expressions when idioms run wild. Let's kick things off with be off base. It's often thrown around in debates or criticism, but what do you think lies at the heart of this idiom? Be off base essentially means someone is incorrect, misinformed, or completely misunderstanding the situation. The phrase originates from baseball. When a runner is not safely on a base, they're in a vulnerable, wrong position. In conversation, it's metaphorical. Take a political debate, for example. If a candidate accuses their opponent of something unfounded, the response might be, that accusation is way off base. Think of the West Wing. President Bartlett often calls out staffers when their assumptions don't align with the facts, saying things like, you're off base on that one. It's a dignified way of saying, you've got it wrong, and it works in professional settings without sounding too aggressive. Right, and I like that it implies a certain detachment from reality. Now let's pivot to catch up. It seems straightforward, but its flexibility intrigues me. Thoughts? Absolutely. Catch up is dynamic. It can mean literally closing a gap in physical movement, like runners catching up in a race, or metaphorically, like catching up on work, news, or trends. It implies urgency and often a sense of regret or delay. For instance, in Stranger Things, when the characters return to Hawkins after time away, they need to catch up on all the supernatural chaos. In real life, professionals returning from vacation often find themselves buried in emails trying to catch up. It also shows up emotionally. We should catch up between friends implies a need to reconnect and share updates. So while the core meaning is about closing distance, the nuance varies by context: physical, temporal, or emotional. Beautifully put. Next up, get hold of. There's something about the phrase that feels both literal and elusive. How would you unpack it? Get hold of can straddle the line between physical and metaphorical, much like catch up. Literally, it can mean to grasp something physically. I got hold of the rope just in time. But more commonly, it's about communication or acquisition. I've been trying to get hold of her all day means trying to contact someone. It also implies difficulty, effort, or urgency. In Breaking Bad, Walter White scrambles to get hold of supplies and people to keep his double life afloat. There's tension embedded in the phrase. It's not just about getting, but struggling to reach or obtain something. That emotional friction gives it weight. Speaking of friction, let's go haywire. Such a fun sounding idiom, but often with chaos at its core. What's the story there? Go haywire paints a vivid image. The word haywire comes from actual wire used in hay bales. It was notoriously difficult to handle once it got tangled. So when something goes haywire, it goes completely out of control. It's used when systems fail, plans fall apart, or people act irrationally. In Mr. Robot, Elliot's plans often go haywire as his hacking world collides with human unpredictability. It also works in tech. The system went haywire after the update suggests something unexpectedly malfunctioned. It's not mild. It suggests disruption, confusion, and a chain reaction. And that leads nicely into our final idiom, grow out of. It sounds gentler, but carries a deep implication about change. How would you characterize it? Grow out of has a developmental tone. It's often used for habits or preferences one abandons over time, usually due to maturity. A child might grow out of a fear of the dark, or in Fleabag, the protagonist grows out of toxic patterns, slowly shedding emotional armor. But it's not limited to personal growth. It applies to fashion trends, belief systems, or even industries. For example, some argue that society is growing out of fossil fuels in favor of renewable energy. The idiom contains both nostalgia and progress. It acknowledges the past while moving forward. I like how each of these idioms touches on transformation in different ways: error, progress, urgency, chaos, and evolution. They're like emotional snapshots of everyday drama. Exactly. Idioms don't just decorate our speech, they distill life's complexities into bite sized truths.